idea. She's like, Dad, get off the couch. We got to go. I'm like, yep, we got to go.
New tonight, hundreds show up outside Grand Rapids City Hall in support of abortion rights, all following a recent leaked draft opinion uncovering the Supreme Court's apparent opposition to Roe v. Wade. News Channel 3's Maria Serrano is joining us live in studio. Maria, you spent most of the day out there where it was pro-choice versus pro-life.
It was, Tricia, and it was actually made very clear. It just shows how divisive abortion rights issues are in the country, which is being reflected in Grand Rapids, too. At one point, dozens of pro-choice protesters defending their message walked over with abortion rights signs to speak to pro-life protesters. Now, there were only a few counter-protesters from a collective of churches compared to hundreds at the rally.
Hundreds join in the fight they say is a woman's choice.
I don't believe that that's something that should be taken away and something that should be in the hands of men who aren't living our lives every day.
One group saying the right to have an abortion shouldn't be up for discussion or debate.
Abortion is just on the continuum of healthcare, okay?
I feel like there's so many bigger issues in the world. Why are we focusing on putting laws on women's bodies? I feel like there's a pandemic, a war, like a formula shortage right as we speak.
A small pro-life crowd at the rally says it vehemently disagrees.
We have to love all people, not just people who are born. We have to be consistent about that.
They say abortion is murder, and they're here to bring the gospel to pro-choice protesters.
Hoping that they will receive the word of the Lord Jesus Christ and be saved. We care about them.
Don't choose death, choose life. God is a God of life.
Keith Ortega spent most of his Saturday with his family at the rally. He has a 24-year-old daughter.
And I'd be horrified if she had a pregnancy that she didn't want and the government forced her to go through 9 months of bodily and hormonal change.
Ortega tells me the personal beliefs of the opposite side are fine for their own purposes.
But that message or that will shouldn't be put on other people. Even people that believe in it. It's a very difficult and traumatic choice, but they should still have that choice. It shouldn't be decided by somebody else.
The Supreme Court's ruling is not expected until June or early July.
FedEx Ground is opening a new facility this month right here in Kalamazoo County in our partnership with Southwest Michigan First. News Channel 3's Laura Painter finds out the facility's positivity and its ripple effect.
This new state-of-the-art FedEx Ground facility in Kalamazoo County creates hundreds of new jobs. It's 312,000 square feet. That's more than 5 football fields. And that size and the number of jobs has leaders saying this facility is a game changer for Southwest Michigan. This new FedEx Ground facility on Portage Road can process 12,000 packages per hour. For businesses in our region, that speed matters.
We also look at it from a supply chain perspective, working with our companies to get their products out into the world, as well as get products back into the community in a very expeditious manner. So it's a really important element.
Bland estimates about 900 positions will come into the community thanks to this new facility.
It means more children attending our schools, a higher demand in our housing market, support for our restaurants and our other businesses in town.
This facility is an example of FedEx Ground's recent capacity investments that includes 4 automated stations, 11 regional sortation facilities, and 6 large package centers.
They are in our top 5 number of employers in the city of Portage. Who knew that while this was being built, that COVID would change the way that we all shop and that the demand for ground transportation through companies like FedEx would just soar. So they were a little bit ahead of the curve on forecasting the future needs.
Jobs are always important to our region, especially diverse jobs. We have a lot of manufacturing jobs, and there are a lot of openings right now. Distribution is part of that whole process. And so jobs for all is extremely important to us.
Southwest Michigan First worked with the developer of the property on some of the incentives to get FedEx to locate to this particular site. They worked in partnership with the city of Portage, Kalamazoo County, and the Kalamazoo County Brownfield Authority to provide tools utilized in the development of this property.
Representative Mike Mueller is proposing critical incident maps as a way for schools across the state of Michigan. The maps would help first responders in an event of an active shooter, or even if a person has a medical emergency at the school, to locate the right door and room needed to respond. It would offer the use of satellite imaging to create real-life depiction of a building and the area surrounding it. Mueller says the goal is to help responding officers communicate more effectively. Mid-Michigan Now's Courtney Bennett joined us. How will this be used?
Now, this will be used at school buildings across using satellite imaging. So it creates a grid in real time, and all responding first responders will know, for instance, where the art room is located in the school. Representative Mueller says since the year 2000, Michigan school districts have been required to share blueprints, maps, or even building plans with law enforcement in case of an incident on school grounds. But Mueller says sometimes these maps are outdated. Now, Representative Mueller is a retired sheriff's deputy. He says in moments of crisis, it is crucial for communication to be effective and clear among first responders. He is proposing the use of these critical incident maps. He says the company Critical Response Group has outfitted schools across the country. Mueller says for every school in Michigan, both private and public, to be outfitted with a map, it would cost about $10 million. The money would come from the $200 million spending plan the House approved last week for school safety.
Is this in response to Oxford on November 30th?
Well, I can't say this is in response to it. Unfortunately, these things are going to continue to happen because it just does. There's no way to stop it. But we just have to have the best technology and utilize whatever we need to be, all the tools we can utilize for law enforcement to make sure our kids are safe.
Mueller tells me he has not had any opposition to these maps. This would not be required for schools. Instead, they could choose to apply for the money and get outfitted with a map. A spokesperson for Democratic State Senator Jim Ananich says they will be taking a closer look at this proposal when it comes to the Senate. Coming up tonight on Mid-Michigan Now at 10, you will hear from the company that outfits schools with these maps and their background in special operations in the United States military and how that has helped them make these maps.